Alright, so we're gonna build a Genshin Impact Elemental Burst tier list. The Elemental Burst is the ultimate ability. I believe it's the Q key. And we're just gonna go over, how they look, the aesthetic, the vibe, not really the usage of it or how efficient it is. We're just gonna judge it by how it looks and if it looks cool or not. So the best way to look through it is this video with all characters, I believe. I'm just gonna start with Hu Tao. So we're gonna watch Hu Tao's. Pretty cool. Throws out a little ghosty ghost. Pretty insane damage. I would say, let's say Hu Tao's is an A tier, close to an S tier. I'll see how I feel in a bit when we go through a few more abilities. I'll have it at a solid A, almost S. Does look really nice though. All right, Mona. Mona's is beautiful. Maybe I'm just a Mona simp, but Mona's is definitely S tier to me. One of the best ults in the game. Looks amazing. And number 3, Zhongli. Come on, let's be real. It's a meteor. This man is summoning a meteor from the skies. That's also an easy S tier. That's ridiculous. I don't even have to say anything else. So Ganyu literally has like the earth in her hands, throws it up, and it's just raining icicles. Amazing. I'm also a Ganyu simp as well, so I'm probably biased. I'm going to put Zhongli at number 1 and these two to this next of it. After looking at those three, pretty sure I'm gonna just keep Hu Tao at A. So Klee, throwing a bunch of bombs. She does have an animation, but there's not too much going on. A nice little flower and then the splash. I would say an A tier. Close to an S as well. These two are very close to S tier, but for now I would keep them A. I know Child has 2 different ults. Which one are we judging? This is gonna hurt. Let's be real, that the animation, the zoom up is dope, but it's a slash. It's nothing fancy. We need some sauce for the ults. That has to be a B tier. We need some sauce. That's just basic. I wanna be real. I know he has a second part. Not too much going on in that either. Both of his ults are kind of average, unfortunately, to me. Alright, so one of the most controversial 5 stars that a lot of people like to hate on. Chi-Chi. Pretty nice. I like the close-up. And then she like flares out. Everything explodes. There's frost on your screen too. Eye on that detail. It's pretty fire. I'm gonna give that an A. I like that. Venti, of course. Here we go. Pretty OP. I love Venti's ult. I like the zoom up. I use Venti religiously. Probably my most used unit. But it's not super flashy. I do like that it looks like a black hole. It looks really clean. I would give it a strong B though. Close to A. Alright. Now this is my main. D-Luke. Pretty fire. And then the bird flies up. Beautiful. But alright, let's be a bit fair. With D-Luke's ult, I was biased with these two. I want to just give it S tier too. But I don't want to be biased. I'm going to be biased. He's S tier. There's no way. I just like his ult. It's a bird that just flies in the sky. It's beautiful. Alright. For now, I'll keep it A. I want to be biased and have it S, but let's be fair. Let's go through it all. Love Jean. And the zoom up is dope, and I love the dandelion effect that she has. Pretty unique with like dandelions flying around. But to be fair, it's pretty average. I'll give it a B. Beidou's ult looks really clean with all the construction that he makes in front of him. The rocks. And they stay there. It looked pretty cool after. Ooh, Beidou's is kind of tough. I would say it's B for now. It doesn't have as much. In certain situation, it does look like an A tier burst. This one's really hard. Ooh, I'm gonna give it a B. Close to A though. This one, that one's probably one of the hardest to judge. I don't know. Okay, so Zhao's ult is technically him putting on the mask. The animation is cool. And then every time he does plunge attack, it does look really cool with the spears like sticking up from the floor. It is like a two-part ult, so it's kind of hard to really give it a spot. I would have to give it B. Barbara, only 4-star with the zoom in, little splash of water. I would have to probably, because she has the zoom in at least, I would give that a B. Nothing crazy, nothing special. Catching, one of the few 5-stars I don't have. It's one of the coolest ultimates, in my opinion, in the game. It looks insane. She's just blinking around, destroying everything. When I first played the game, I thought catching had the coolest ult, and it blew my mind. Easily an S tier. Then Yan. Hey, so she has fire coming out. That's pretty dope. It doesn't really have a zoom in or like a close up, but all the flames coming up. She has her little stage performance thing. I could dig it. I respect it. I'll give it a mid tier, middle of the B's. I have too many B's. Now that I'm looking at it, I think Albedo's, I'm gonna bump it to an A, just because it does look really cool sometimes. Chongyun. Bunch of icicles, and then they just like kind of disappear right after. 4-stars do kind of struggle with flashy ults, so for Chong, I would have to put C for Chong. Not saying it's bad, C tier ults still look amazing. Like I said earlier, all ults do look really good. Now that I think about it, I should add a row below. Whoops. This does have to be D. There are some in mind that I think should go to D tier. So, Ningguang's ult, very powerful. Looks kind of cool when she's floating in the air. But the ult, the burst isn't anything too crazy, nothing too flashy. I would have to give that C as well. Oh, wrong one. This one. Whoops. So Noelle just has the zoom up, and then her sword gets big. I know there's a lot of Noelle stands out there, but I'm sorry. Ult is nothing cool to look at. It just gets an extendo, man. Like, come on, let's be real. So Diona does throw her little ice thing. I think you can see like the paws and stuff. It's cool. It's alright. She just kicks it in there. I would say it's also a C tier. Official turns into a bird and flies away, and then leaves the bird there. Official is in my top 4 in usage, but I'm going to be completely honest. Her ultimate is very boring. So Beidou. I don't really use her either. She just stabs the floor. Gets the shield around her. I would say that's also kind of average. The Shanling does a little spinny spin before she throws it out. And it is pretty cool that the Pyronado is flying around for a bit. Because of that, it's out in the field for a good amount of time. I would give it a C. Lisa.
Try not to enjoy this too much.
Of course, Ami Milkers. He looks in the air, throws the electro field down, and there's a lantern that stays there. The lantern looks pretty cool. This one is a C, a low C. I honestly want to kick it down to D. I would kick it down to D. It's cool. Well, Amber, she shoots arrows into the air. Amber's is very, very basic. I don't think there's much going on there. It is probably the most lackluster ult, in my opinion. I'm not too sure yet.
Frostbite.
So he does have a little zoom in, and then he has icicles floating around him. I'll give him a C, just because he has the zoom in. If he didn't have that and just icicles just appeared around him, I would knock it down to a D. Alright, so Sucrose. He summons a butterfly and it stays there and it's just flapping, constantly swirling. I kind of dig it. Really dope for a 4-star. And because of that, I'll put it at B. I really like that. Stays on the field and it looks really elegant. Alright, so Bennett flips, steps on the floor, and the zone is created. Now I love Bennett. I think he's OP. He's probably like a low-key 5-star, but I'm gonna have to just give that a C. Maybe knock it down to a D. Not too sure. He has a zoom in. The wolf gets summoned, and the wolf goes sicko mode while he attacks. It looks so clean, actually. One of the cooler 4-stars, to be honest. I would give that a B as well. The main character summons a huge tornado. Now that tornado can look pretty cool depending on what element is in it. The ability itself, it's kind of mid. Looks kind of okay. Wind. Put it in C. Alright, so for the Geo ult, no crazy zoom in, no animation. He just looks on the floor and the Geo constructs are made. Because they leave stuff on the edge, I would honestly put it above the Anima ult. They're both kind of similar to me though. King Chu.
Let me weave you a verse.
Doesn't do much, has swords dancing around him. And they fly when he attacks. Which is pretty cool. I will have to at least give it a slow C. Animation is just really basic. Nothing really happens. But I do like the fact that there's swords floating around him after. So the tier list is almost done. We will do Rosaria's ult and Yanfei's ult in my game because the video didn't have it. I don't know who these two are. I'm assuming they're unreleased. I believe this one is Eula. I would guess this is Ayaka unless I'm tripping and this is someone in the game. Now Rosaria, I'm a simp of. Pretty amazing character. So nice little spear. It pulsates. I really like how this spear looks. It even has like a little rose in it. But I won't let my bias overcome me. I will give it a high C. If it were me, I'm putting that A tier. But I'll try to be as fair as I can. And it's a C. Not that much of a simp. I can control myself. I've actually never used her yet, so I don't know what to expect. Ooh, a bunch of signs, and then she stabs the floor. I think the floor is supposed to be burning or something. Maybe it depends if I use it on an enemy. And she has the charms around her, the floating charms that increases her charge attack, I believe. I do like the entrance of her ults. Maybe I have to see a better usage of it, but for now I'd put that C as well. So this is my tier list. I think it's pretty fair. I can adjust a couple here and there. Some ults look really dope. Some elemental bursts look really dope. Made it to the end, like the video. Sub if you haven't. Watching, peace out.